We are back at it again here with another video with the Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, doing a full transition from the dip area in the pre-market to the rip area here in the second half of the day, and having a large pullback back to retest the lows of day. And here we are within this volatility trying to bounce back up in the after hours. Now in today's volatility, our SPY bot at 2:20 p.m. sent out a bear indicator, and from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside, pure weakness there on 42 vision, and put options went up 150% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots, and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. So here we are with the full transition upwards, coming back down towards red bars, testing the lows in the pre-market and bouncing right off of it to come back up to retest the highs here of day, right? Now in the after hours so far, the highest it's gone is 412. We're going to break it all down in today's video. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. So the home run of the day was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run of the day was from our Tesla bot. Our Tesla bot at 11:10 a.m. sent out a bear indicator, and from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside, pure weakness there on 42 vision, and put options went up 200% plus within hours, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump into these charts. So here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, doing a full transition from the rip area yesterday of bright green bars to the dip area again in today's pre-market, finding support and bringing itself back up towards the rip area. If this is your first time coming across the channel, this is 42 vision, which allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY on the 30-minute chart under a bear indicator after getting a bull indicator in the middle of the day, canceling this one out and getting this bear indicator to start dominating over the chart here at around 412.50 area, and outflows cross back down to the downside. This is going to be critical and crucial here going into tomorrow if the bulls want to have any chance to bring this back up, for the bulls to bring it back over the midpoint and push it up higher. It's trying to bring itself back up here in the after hours, but right now in this volatility, the outflows are dominating and the bear indicator is in effect. It needs to get canceled by a possible bull indicator if there's any move to retest the highs of the day and even the highs from yesterday, right at the 414, 415 area. But here we are, extreme volatility here throughout this week, ranging between the 411, 410 area all the way up to 415. And every single day we've hit the dip area, we've gone ahead and gone back up, and every single day we hit the rip area, we came right back down, right? Crossed over with those outflows and got bear indicators in the process. So here we are with some chop here, quickly canceling out the bull indicator from the middle of the day and those inflows picking up in the second half of the day, creating extreme volatility here and some chop, right? Yesterday was pretty directional. The day before that was pretty directional. And then in the after hours to today's pre-market was pretty directional. But today was pretty choppy. Now, let's talk about the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow. And the first thing is we want these inflows to pick back up and cross the midpoint. As I stated earlier in the video, that's going to be crucial for the bulls. But when we zoom out and look at this from the 1 hour, it's under a bear indicator here in today's pre-market, and outflows crossed over. They tried coming back up. No bull indicator in today's volatility to the upside. Quickly got rejected to the downside, retesting the lows of day in the pre-market, and outflows crossed over. So we have a divergence right now with the 1 hour trying to push up higher on the lower time frames as well. On the SPY, and the SPY stock, the S&P 500, has outflows that cross the downside here within the trade of the day, right? It is something to not ignore that the SPY pushed up, pushed back down, and now it's trying to push up, and now the outflows are diverging to the downside. I would not ignore that or overlook it, because the further down these outflows go and the longer this bear indicator is in effect, and no bull indicator comes into play, and this continues to push down lower away from the midpoint, the quicker things could reflect into the charts to the possible downside and retesting key support levels such as 410, right? We've talked about how important 410 is throughout this week, and it's found support above it all week long, and this is the closest that it's gotten this week alone, right? On Friday last week, it hit these levels and it bounced right off of it. A very sharp bounce back up towards 412 here in the after hours. Very interesting, but something to not overlook is that the outflows are below the midpoint here on the 1 hour. Now, when we go ahead and zoom in to the 15-minute, we could see here that things were looking pretty strong. Full transition from the dip area on 42 vision of white with red borders to bright green bars up here of the rip area, as I like to call it. And then a bull indicator popped up at around 411.20. Inflows were above the midpoint, full strength there throughout the first half of the day. And in the second half, a bear indicator popped up. Outflows had crossed over at around the area of 412.95, and things did a full transition again on the SPY, the S&P 500 index, from the rip area to the dip area. And that was a pretty sharp move to the downside, rejecting the 413 to down towards the 410 area. That is something that has moved very quickly in the second half of the day. We didn't see something that sharp throughout this week, right? The sharpest move that we've seen earlier this week was in the second half on Monday, when it actually found support around the 411 area and pushed up very sharply to 414. Now, today it did the opposite. Now, in this volatility, it's going to be crucial and critical for these inflows to continue if the bulls want to have any chance. That's the first thing I would not ignore and I would overlook in this chart, is that the fact that on the lower time frames, the inflows are trying to pick up and the bulls are trying to reappear. And it's going to be crucial and critical for these inflows to pick up and cross, so that could start to reflect into the charts and eventually cancel out this bear indicator with a possible bull indicator. That is something I would not overlook. It's going to be critical for the bulls. Now, when we zoom out and look at this from the 30-minute, we could see here within the volatility that the outflows are below, but they're slowing down, and we need to see this come back up as well. And let's talk about the key levels I would watch to the upside and to the downside. So the first thing is we want these inflows to pick up, but the support needs to be held, right? And the first support level is 410. If that gets broken through, the next support below that will be 408, guys. Those are the key levels I'm watching to the downside. If 408 gets broken through, we would need to reassess and see how far down these outflows are going away from the midpoint. Now, to the upside, We want these inflows to pick up here on the 30-minute, but not only that, but also here on the 15-minute towards the midpoint and cross it to start reflecting that strength into the charts to retest those resistance levels, and in the process also cancel out this bear indicator and get a bull indicator to the upside and try to break through that 413 resistance that was formed today at the highs of the day, right in the middle of the day. So here we are with it on the 15-minute with these inflows trying to pick up. We want to see that continue. Same thing on the 30-minute, and most importantly for the 1 hour to continue here to try to hold itself up. Now these outflows just crossed here in the after hours. We want to see this slow down and try to push itself back up from red to green, and the first resistance is to the upside. We want this bear indicator to get canceled, and then above 413 would be the 415 area. And if that staircase effect could start forming and pushing up higher, and these inflows start going higher, because today they hit highs here of 1.55, and yesterday inflows hit highs here on the 30-minute of 2.16. Well, based off the history of the chart, there's room to go higher and reach those levels, not guaranteed to, but something to not ignore. And we could see those moves, how they worked out once they crossed over and pushed up higher. So I'm going to be watching that very carefully, that crossover, and above 415 comes the 418 area. That's a critical level of resistance based off the history of the chart. We've broken that down in previous videos, and here we are with it trying to come back up in the after hours, rejecting the 413 area. And if that could get broken through tomorrow, the next resistance and these inflows could start picking up will be 415, and then above that the 418 area. But this is going to be crucial and critical, as on the 15-minute it's starting to bring itself up, and on the 30-minute leveling off. We want it to cross over, push up, and cancel out these bear indicators and get bull indicators in the process, and slow down these outflows on the total amount of the 1 hour, right? You could see it there, and I just pulled up the 1 day as well. You could see that things are under a bull indicator. Slight slowdown, outflows appearing here for the first time in several days. We'll need to see if that continues, and if it does, that could roll over into the lower time frames. But right now, within the volatility from today to tomorrow, we want these outflows to slow down on the 1 hour, and same thing on the 30-minute, and start picking up back over the midpoint. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.